Before I start with what today's video is about, I just wanted to go into a little bit of what I've been experiencing as well. Last night I had severe shooting pains running through my body, and they were in my forearm here, um, and they were in my legs and my stomach, and I just felt like my whole body had like almost unbearable pains shooting, and it felt like it was in the bone. It literally felt like my entire body was being like changed. I feel a little bit less tired today than I have. Still feel pretty detached. I feel like my telepathy though is so strong at the moment, but everything else is super detached. So what I wanted to do today's video on mostly is just something that came to me. So when I have these things come to me, I make a video in case they help someone else. So it's been really on my mind about self-validation and needing to find validation from outside oneself. Because a lot of the time in these spiritual connections, particularly, or strong connections, what happens is somebody has some insecurities, some baggage, some issues, some fears, and then the other person who struggles with self-validation then feels unworthy and almost takes on the issues of the other person as a reason why they're not worthy enough. So say, for example, somebody has commitment issues, and then the other person will be like, oh, but you know, why am I not good enough for them to be in a relationship with me? And then this person might make it even worse by going with other people that maybe they don't have the same connection with, because it's not as scary, because it's not as intense, or for whatever reason. And then they compound the issue even more. Or say, for example, somebody with an abusive, like someone who's got abuse issues or sex addiction or anything like this, what will end up happening is that people drawn to them will have issues with self-worth, so they'll end up allowing this other person's issues to make them feel less worthy. And this all comes about because of lack of being able to validate oneself internally. Because if we're always allowing other people to assess our worth, like the behaviour of others, to make us feel worthy or unworthy, then we'll always be like this all over the place. Because someone will pay a compliment and be like, oh, I feel amazing now. Someone else can't make you feel validated. They can, but it's a really fake place to be, because if you're relying on outside validation, sure, it can happen, but then when you're given the opposite, like you only need one of the opposite and like 100 good comments to really crush you. Like it's like you have to get to the place where you are feel so worthy. You don't have to go and say, I'm the most beautiful, or I've got the best body in the world, or I'm this, or it's not about that. It's about knowing that you are worthy and you respect yourself and you validate yourself, and you're perfect just the way you are. And then other people can't make you feel, if you say, oh, well, he makes me feel like this, then you have some serious issues as to either why you're allowing that person into your life to make you feel less validated, and how you're allowing somebody else to make you feel different about yourself. Like, we need to be such strong pillars if we're on this journey, that we don't need any validation from outside to make ourselves feel worthy. Because unfortunately what happens when people rely on that is, I mean, you only have to look at celebrities and superstars, is when all the comments are good, they're soaring high, and then when it stops, it's like time for rehab, because it's like having all this validation poured on you, but it's not real, it's not internal, it's not self-validation. So when it's taken away, you're literally crushed, and your worth is like, you know, down below the floor. So this journey is about being able to find your own worth, your own validation, without having to seek it from somebody else. So it's like, I find that a lot of the time in these really strong connections is one person has a whole batch of, well, both people really have a whole batch of issues and baggage, but one person tends to kind of run from it, and the other person, because they have issues with validating themselves, will then literally fall apart, and they'll accept bad behaviour, they'll allow themselves to be, you know, in a situation that makes them feel less worthy. They'll be the more chaser energy, or the more like the half that feels just like they're not worthy of this person. It's like they allow this one person with a whole load of issues and fears and phobias and baggage, because they don't want them. It allows them to place their whole worth on this person with all these issues, not wanting them. And this is a massive part of the journey that I realised today. It's this need to self-validate and to feel validated without it coming in externally in the form of praise or someone putting you down. None of those things should affect you just being able to say, no, I'm worthy, and I'm worthy of being treated in a specific way, and I'm worthy of you know, the things that I want from life. And nobody else should be able to tell you what your worth is apart from you, because it's found internally. If you're allowing somebody else's behaviour and someone else's words to make you feel less worthy as a person, less not good looking enough, too good looking, not successful enough, too successful. If somebody thinks you're too successful or you're too rich for them, that's their issues. You can't go around saying, oh, but maybe it's because they earn less than me, that they are scared of this relationship, and I need to lower myself to get, you know, I need to earn less so that they find. That's allowing somebody else's behaviour and somebody else's issues to become your issues. So we need to be really strong pillars on this journey. Strong pillars that this behaviour, we see it for what it is. We see it that it's their issues. If there's a genuine strong connection and they're making you feel bad about yourself, then that's because you're allowing that to happen. Because somewhere deep down you have some trouble validating yourself and feeling worthy internally. And if they don't have a reciprocated connection, and they're not just running away because of issues, then to even want that experience in your life comes from a place of allowing one person's rejection of you to make you feel less worthy. So what this video is really about is just realising this, realising that anytime you feel unworthy because of the words and the behaviour of one human being, or even a few human beings, like that's when you really need to say, look, there's something in me missing, that I'm not able to validate myself, that I'm allowing one person's actions and one person's words to make me feel unworthy and lesser as a person. So really take a look at where in your life you might be doing that, and really bring it back to yourself, and acknowledge that you will never allow somebody else's opinion of you to alter your own opinion of yourself. That came to me really strongly today. So I hope everyone's well, and keep sharing with me, you know, what you're all going through. And I have a session to go to now, but I will speak soon.